Hey everyone, welcome to Average Joe Preparedness. My name's Rick, and I'm an Average Joe. As you can tell by my outfit, it's still cold here, and we still got those storms coming through. And I'm not alone. I know it's going across, and there's more coming. And I hope this finds you. I hope this finds you well, and I hope it finds you warm. So, and if there's things happening, I hope you were prepared for it. Yes, yes. So not a lot getting done outside, if you know what I mean. So I'm doing a few little things on the inside of the house, like I have been doing, because you got to stay busy. Yes. Okay, so the reason for this video is, and it's probably going to be short, which I don't do short videos, so I'm going to add some stuff, was something happened in the real world, and I thought it was interesting. I figured I'd talk to you guys about it. I don't know how many of you saw it, something small, but lessons can be learned from it, and there was a happy ending, sort of, kind of, which is always a good thing. So, yeah, saw something on the news, things go by really fast, and then we have a short memory span, so I figured I'd bring it up. So the lovely lady in my life was watching something on TV. I don't know what it was. And she clicked through and it was like normie news. And they did one of those, they were doing what, I think it was one of those, supposedly a feel-good story. If you guys know what I'm talking about, they do those really, where people are helping each other out and this, that, and the other thing. And it was about in California, southern-ish California. And I'm not sure if you guys have been paying attention, but they got a lot of snow there, which is not all that normal. It's just, this is what's happening with the little jet stream. So the story was of two families. I don't remember if they weren't related or not, like, brothers and sisters and cousins and stuff, but it was two families, and they went up into the mountains to their cabin. They were going to spend some time up there skiing and stuff because the storm was coming. Yes, so they were going to get snow. It's like, okay, like, a couple family members going up, families going up to the cabin, I guess family cabin, and spending a weekend or whatever skiing. Sounds good, yes? Well, what happened to them is they got stuck. They got snowed in. And I guess it was like 3 days and they were running out of food. So they got on Facebook and they sent out a message, like an SOS to people, that we don't have food and we can't leave. And they weren't like way out there, guys. You're picking up what I'm laying down. But anyways, they were like, oh, we can't. And then the feel good story was that, it went out in the newspaper, the news showed up with cameras to do interviews, and people like came with sleds, sleds like your kids sled on sleds, and they pulled them and they brought them food, and it was a happy ever after ending. Yay. But the news also touched base on, they were like, yeah, but those people that can get out away from their cabins and stuff, when they get to the local grocery stores, this is what they usually see. And they showed empty shelves. Yes. And that was it. It was just a little feel-good thing about the community coming together and helping these people out. Sounds good. Woo. But I mean, I got that, but I kind of saw it different. This is what I saw. And anybody can correct me if they want. What I saw was two families. That's two guys, two grown-up men, two grown-up women, and at least one or more children. But I'm talking about the grown-ups. So they went up there knowing that a storm was coming. That's the reason why they went up there. And 3 days later, they had no food, and they had to actually post on Facebook to be rescued. Yes? Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, I don't think that would happen to me, for one. And then the stores were empty because 3 days. 3 days of food. 3 days of food is what most people have in their house. 3 days of food is what most grocery stores have. Yes? It's very common. And this actually showed it in real life. And I don't know if they meant to. I think they were doing a feel-good story, and I think that's kind of squeezed right in there. Now, there was a happy ending. Like I said, nobody got hurt. Nobody died. There was starvation. It was 3 days, guys. But anyways, so there was a happy ending, and there was a feel-good story that went out on the news, too. Yay! So life is good. So that's why I'm using this as a lesson. I just saw it, and the first thing I thought of was, wow, they didn't think that thing through. And that's a problem, I think, in my opinion, is a lot of people don't think very far. And I think that leads, or has the potential, I should say, I think that has the potential to lead to issues. So anyways, happened in real life, saw it on TV, figured I'd bring it up, and that was it. So this would be a really short video, but I don't do short videos. So I'm gonna add just a couple more things. Yes? Yes. Okay, add-on number 1. You guys remember when I showed you this book? And I hope Mr. Cobb doesn't get mad. Now, and I let you guys know, I'm going to give you a little more detail. The chapters, like each chapter describes some stuff, and then that's what your assignments, the weekly assignments, remember those are. So I'm actually in week 2 now. You remember in the first week, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, guys. It's just the main part, which is like the main part of the chapter. If you remember in the first one, it was about making lists, and then there was stuff you needed to get. The second one, and I'm going to piggyback off this, is yeah, don't turn your back on the camera, and you should have your props ready, Rick, including your readers. But let me read this real fast. It says tasks. This is week 2, assignments, tasks, and just the top part. Begin wherever you like in your house and start purging. The purge. Get rid of the stuff you don't need to make room for the stuff you do. Be vicious and cutthroat. Sell what you can and put the money towards prepping. If it doesn't sell, go to free cycle, thrifting stores, recycling, or in the trash. Now, I like this for a couple of things. First off is, in my opinion, people got a lot of stuff. Yes? And one of the reasons that stop them from getting things they need is because they have a lot of stuff that they don't need. I also like, and again, I'm going to piggyback off this in my house, but I also like where it talks about if you can't find a place, if you can't sell it, free cycle, I don't know if you guys know what that is, recycling, thrift stores, because I'm all about reduce, reuse, recycle, repurpose, uppurpose, whatever. Yes, I'm growing up, I'm trying to be a hippie a little bit, but I don't like waste. Yes, yes. So, touch base on that. I don't know, you guys need to go buy the book, or I'm going to give you the main parts of what he goes over. I don't know if I'm going to do it in every video, maybe. But that hit home to me because I'm having to do work inside my house. And I can tell you this much, you wouldn't know it by looking behind me. You see all this stuff? It's my house. My house is neat, my house is organized, and my house is clean. And there's reasons for that. Now, the first one is I was raised poor. And if anybody out there was raised poor, they probably already know what I'm about to say. But that is, when you grow up and you can get out of that, is I don't like dirt. I've mentioned this before, I'm pretty sure. I don't like dirt. I don't like bugs. You picking up what I'm saying? And I don't like mice because I was raised poor. So I will do anything and everything I can that has nothing to do with my house. No mice, no bugs, and no dirt. But what it also does is it gives me an opportunity to keep my house organized. You're with me? Because I'm cleaning it often. Not that you guys don't clean your house often. I'm just talking about me. So it keeps things organized. And then something else I realized I was doing and not realizing that I was doing it until I got more information is I was watching a creator, a video years ago, and he was talking about what to do when you know something's going to happen, and he had a list. And one of the things on there, as surprising it may sound, was clean his house. If something bad happens, you're not going to have a chance. You're probably not going to want to. You're probably going to be busy, and you might not have the opportunity. If the electricity goes out, you got a vacuum. Yes, like my vacuum. I showed you guys. And then he referred to something, there's a story, and people don't know if it's true or not, or if it's one person or a bunch of people got together to make the story. But I've read it, and it doesn't matter. It's called like A Year in Hell, if I'm not mistaken. And one of the things they realized when they got it, it was a year of like no power or nothing, a city cut off. But when the lights came back on, the very first thing, or one of the very first things he realized, and it hit me, he was like, they all realized at the same time, just how filthy they were. They themselves, where they were living, the conditions. And that doesn't bode well. Now, if you take secondary, tertiary, that doesn't bode well for things like disease, or if you get a wound and it gets dirty. And so it may be a good idea, if not just for organizational purposes, is for being disciplined about it is another thing, but keep a clean house. Yes? Yes. All right, next little thing, because I don't do short videos, I have a prop. Hold on a second. I believe, I don't know if I've ever shown this, but I know I've mentioned it. This is my backpack. If you've ever heard me call it out, this is what it is. I'm going to show this to you. And the reason being is because this is for people that are getting gear, right? If you're like over here and you're thinking about getting gear, you're going to find that somebody out there, if you go through things, somebody's always trying to sell you something. Yes? Yes. Well, when I first started biking and hiking and doing all kinds of stuff, I needed a backpack, didn't have a lot of money. It was a few years ago. As a matter of fact, I think this is like 8 years old, something like that, 7 or 8 years old. This thing has been to, I don't know, maybe a dozen states. It's been to 24 state parks at least. It's got, I don't know, a couple months of overnight camping, days camping and the such. You with me so far? It's probably got, I don't know, a couple of 100 miles of hiking on it and over 1,000 miles, oh, maybe two, of bicycle riding. Yes, being on my back. And if you guys look, it is a cheap old, you guys know who that is? Right there? This is a cheap Walmart backpack. You with me? Now I do replace this, the bladder thing, like once a year. I change them out all the time, all the ones we have. But I just want to let you know, sometimes you just get lucky. You don't necessarily have to buy the most expensive thing. And sometimes it's better to get something in the beginning, and then if you want to get something better later on, then you can, yes? But again, I just saw it when I was coming out here to do the video, and I was like, man, you might want to bring that up, Rick. I think it's 7 years old. All those miles on it, both figuratively and literally, and this thing still works. Just saying. Okay, now let's finish up. So if I ever refer to my backpack in like future videos, that's the one I'm talking about. And if I've ever done it in the past, that's the one I was talking about. And then talking about, when I talk about cleaning, by the way, I'm not just talking about, I do things a little bit more detailed, like monthly. I do my dishwasher, the deep clean, the garbage disposal, and I clean the drains in my sinks. You guys do that? You guys because it's nasty. And I don't want a dirty house because, again, diseases and the such, or just, I don't know if people actually understand how icky, I'll use that term, icky, how icky, there's places in their house that are really icky. You should clean your drains out and you'll find out. And I'm talking just like in your sinks, like or your garbage disposal with the salt and the lemon juice and a little ice. You guys know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it can be pretty nasty. Yes? Yes. Okay, and what else? Oh, yesterday I baked another loaf of bread. It was huge. I baked these 2-pound loaves of bread. Yeah, it's like a giant sandwich. I think it's like that big when I cut it. It's awesome. Yeah, no preservatives. So I got it. That's the problem. If you guys bake, if you guys ever do start doing like that stuff, there's no preservatives in it. So whatever you make, you have to eat relatively quickly. I mean, in a few days. Some things you buy from the store, bread, so you leave it there for like a month. You with me? Not this, so I got to eat that. And I baked some more cookies for the lovely lady in my life. Keto cookies. Yes, with almond flour. That's an experience. But anyways, that's about it. I hope you guys don't mind the comedy stuff and the little things, but I hope you guys pay attention to the main reason I did this video, because in like 2 more days, that story is going to be gone. You with me? And it was a real world event that had a happy ending that I think people could learn from. Yes? Yes. So I hope this finds you well. I hope you're not trapped in a mountain somewhere and having to get on Facebook to have people sled food in for you. Yes, I hope that you're dealing with this winter weather in the best way possible. And if things go wrong, I hope you're prepared. So with that, I hope this finds you well. I hope you are happy. I hope you are staying positive. And I hope for winter right now, you are being prepared.